What's up, party people? My name is Justin Glover, and you are listening to episode number 110 of the Results 513 show, the show where high-performing entrepreneurs go to step into their power and take their life and business to new levels. And in this episode, we're answering another one of your biggest questions. Today's question was submitted by Kristen, and it's all about how to find and hire help for your business on a limited budget. If you have a question that you would like us to answer in an upcoming episode, submit it to results513.com/ask. A lot of people ask me how I'm able to keep up with this 7-day per week show by myself, when the reality is I'm not actually doing it by myself anymore. I brought on 5 team members to help me with that, and in fact, I'm going to be talking about that in today's episode because I actually did that for literally almost nothing. But the other reason that I'm able to do that, produce this show, and I was able to do that for the first almost 100 episodes on my own without missing a single episode, was because I had the right tools that I use in my business that make me super productive. And in fact, Brenda and I have actually put together a free gift for you. It's our short list of the 15 must-have tools that we actually use in our business that you can use that will help make you insanely productive as well. We use them in our business, and we would not be able to get as much done without them. You can literally have this in your hands in 3 minutes from right now by going over to results513.com/show and claiming your copy. Now, not every tool on the list will be perfect for you and your business, but any one of these tools has the ability to change your business forever. So go check it out, results513.com/show. And finally, for a raw, behind-the-scenes look at the Results 513 show, you can follow me on Snapchat. My username there is Justin Lee Glover. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Before we start every show, we take 18 seconds to have a quick gratitude dance party. So as the music plays, think of one thing you're grateful for right now. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? Justin Glover here with Brenda Gagne. Brenda, how are you today?
Doing great.
What's up? All right. So we've got another question that we are answering for you here on the Results 513 show. If you have a question that you would like us to actually ask, you can submit it. I talk about it in the intros and the outros, results513.com/ask. Today's question comes from Kristen, and I'm going to read this question off. Kristen says, I have a brick-and-mortar jewelry business, and I'm bringing certain aspects of that business online. My biggest challenge is finding times to do the tasks that I know need to be done to build the online part. I know I need help, but my budget for making that online part of the business is limited. So, limited budget, how do you get help to find people to actually build out, do the tasks that you need to do if you are building a business on the internet? So, great question, Kristen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for asking. Brenda, what's your initial response to this question? What's your thought?
Well, I think it's a great idea to be taking offline and merging it with online because you can just reach so many people so much faster. Obviously, people are going online a lot more for purchases and stuff, so it's definitely a great thing to do. But it's not going to be just specifically to you. There's going to be a lot of people that are in the exact same position you are of transitioning onto the internet. There's a whole separate skill set of how do you actually get stuff in here, how does it get set up, and that's not the stuff that you really want to be doing personally as a business owner when you have all this other stuff that you're, to the bottom line of your business, to take time away from that to learn this internet stuff. That's really not where you want to be spending your time. So it's a great question. You definitely want to hire or find other people that know how to do this, and to be able to do it on a limited budget. Basically, there's definitely ways, we're going to talk about them, but you got to get resourceful. That's really kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think that's the key. How resourceful can you be as an entrepreneur? Because there's lots of ways to find people that will, to get the work done. Find people that help and are happy to help in exchange for something else other than money. Right? That's kind of the key here. So, a lot of times that could be in exchange for exposure. It could be in exchange for
knowledge
or an understanding or learning a process, learning how to do something. It can be exchanged for services. Like there's lots of different routes you can go. So there's really what are the three? Okay, so what are our three options here, right? You can hire somebody. What are the other options? You can find like an intern type of person, and potentially go to a database. If you already have a list of people, if you have a database of people, customers, people that you think are able to actually help you, and just put the word out. Just put the word out. Just ask them. Say, hey, I know that you love jewelry. I'm moving my business on here. Here's something specific that I'm trying to find help doing. It's taking up a lot of my time. It needs to be done in order for me to grow the business, but I don't have time to do it. I'm looking for somebody to do it in exchange for what? Free jewelry, a look at behind the scenes of my business. What's that exchange? So that would be sort of a starting point. I want to talk about all three of those briefly, Brenda, but what are your...
Sure. Well, as far as that one goes, right there, you go into your initial database, and obviously, if you're a business owner, you've got people coming into your brick and mortar. Some way of contact or being able to contact them, getting them on an email list, on a text list, or having them fill something out for updates or coupons or something. You should be doing that. Hopefully, you already have been. If you haven't, that's something you want to implement, because you do want to be able to, follow back up with your customers, especially if you're going to have an online presence now. You want to be able to touch them over there. So that's the first thing. But once you either start doing that and creating your database, or you already have one, it's first off, what do you have of value that you could exchange for their knowledge? I mean, that's really, if you can get what you need without actually paying money, since you're on a limited budget, that's where the resourcefulness comes in. But that's really where I would start, because you never know who's out there that wants to do some type of an exchange. So for you being a business owner already, you've already gone through the steps of how to find a business to actually, to lease out or to purchase, the steps to inventory, how you do that, everything that goes on behind the scenes as a business owner. Right there, you have immense knowledge that maybe somebody is very interested in learning how to do. Maybe they want to go the other way. Maybe some people are on the internet and they want to go off, and they want to be able to do the complete opposite. So they have the skills and knowledge, and so do you, and you guys could mutually help each other very much so. So, that's one. You particular are in the jewelry space, so there might be other people that make jewelry from home and would really love to learn from the ups and downs and trials that you've gone through. So kind of figure out where your skill sets are, what value you have, and kind of throw that out there to your existing database and say, like, I'm looking for this, just like Justin said, and this is what I have to offer. If you're interested, let's get on the phone and figure out if maybe we can come up with a, mutual situation that works best for us. So that's definitely where I would start.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you think about just not too long ago, just a few weeks ago as we record this, I was in a position when I said, okay, I've got lots of things that I'm doing in the show to make this show that you're watching or listening to possible. It runs 7 days a week. To make that possible, there's lots of stuff going on. I started the conversation of because I now have, fast forward a couple of weeks, we've got literally 5 people that help me do that, all aspects of the show. But that started simply because I sent an email. I sat down and said, okay, what's the thing that I don't like doing the most, the thing that takes most of my time that somebody else could probably do better than me? And that was the text. Like when we record these videos or we record these audios, part of the way that we deliver them to you in the final product is you also can consume this via text. You can read it if you just like skimming and reading, like learning the lesson via text. So I was having to go back and re-listen to them because I can't talk and type at the same time and still be efficient and really get out everything that I want while I'm talking. So I was having to go back and listen to them, and that's the part that was taking up most of my time. I was kind of frustrated. I was speeding through it, and the value wasn't there. And so that was my need. That was sort of my red flag that says, okay, I've got to find somebody to do this. So I was at a coffee shop, just sat down, and I said, all right, I'm going to send an email to our list and just see if anybody's interested. So I told the story, hey, I've got this show, here's this one specific thing that I don't like doing, and I'm looking for help. If you're interested in helping, here's the thing. It doesn't pay anything. And I told them that right up front. So essentially, I have 5 people that are now helping me, and I can continue that story later on. But what ended up happening is a lot of people, I said, look, it doesn't pay, but in exchange, here are all the things that I've done to grow. I've built a couple of businesses. I've done this. I've got skills in this. I don't have skills in this. Like, I just listed out and said, so if you think that would be valuable, if you want to do this particular work for me and see behind the scenes and actually, be able to consume this content, it's great teaching, that people will be able to get. If that's something you're interested in, reply to this email and let me know. And I got a lot of people that actually replied, which was kind of surprising, because I thought, well, nobody's, like, all these stories were going on in the beginning, like, nobody's going to want to work for free, like, do I even want to do that? But we're doing it in exchange for consulting, helping. We had 5 business owners, lots of business owners actually replied and said, yeah, I am interested in doing that work for free, in exchange for you helping me grow my business, and in exchange for being able to consume this content and kind of see behind the scenes of how you run the business and all of that. So it worked out really well, and I didn't actually get just the one person. I got that person plus 4 other people that I was able to
specific skill sets.
To pass off different areas of the show that I was going to do anyway. Like, for example, editing the audios, editing the videos, putting once they're all the videos and audios are created, putting the show notes pages together. I found people that was in their wheelhouse. That is something that they enjoyed doing. They could do better than me, and they were willing and excited to do it in exchange for us helping them with their business. And so we just set that arrangement up, and that's it's something that I hear. I know lots of people. There's some personal friends of mine that have massive companies, and they built a large part of their team doing that exact same thing, just emailing their people and saying, look, I've got a job opening. Are you interested? It doesn't pay much. Some cases it doesn't pay anything. And that works also very similar to if you don't have a database, like Brenda said, there could be, other local colleges or schools or somewhere in town that you could advertise on, or that you could, get the word out that you're looking for somebody that's interested in, say, look, I've got this business. Here's the type of business that it is. Here's the type of stuff that we do. If you're interested in seeing behind the scenes, learning how I do this, and sort of interning, there's work here for you. And so that's the definition, I think, of interning, is working for free, right? In exchange for the experience, the knowledge, the understanding of how to actually do that thing that you're currently doing.
Right. So I think that's a great one, especially if you don't have a database, or maybe you throw some stuff out there and there's no one that's really maybe qualified looking to do what you're wanting to do. Definitely going to the local colleges, because coming out of college these days, jobs aren't as, they're kind of few and far between, like not like they were. And so any extra thing that they can do to get experience, to put them a little bit ahead, if they can go and say, look, I have been working behind the scenes, I've helped someone do this, and this in their tech field, then that's going to give them an edge up. So they'll want to be able to help you in exchange. And maybe if you have a limited budget, you can throw some money their way, or maybe not. It could work out either way. But that's definitely one of the avenues to consider also. Yeah,
absolutely. And one thing to remember too, you can, this works if you got an email list or social media. Like if you have something that you need help with in your business, right? Just be sure, first of all, I would say step 1 is get really clear on what that is. What's the specific thing? So the way that I like to do things is I send an email out. I don't want to say, hey, I'm hiring for this position. Are you interested? And then get a bunch of people that I have to then turn around and explain to them, okay, here's what the job consists of. Here's what it is. I start with that. I say, look, I got this job. It's doing this exactly. I don't want to do it. I'm hiring somebody to do this specific job. Are you interested? And then whenever they say yes, I talk to them, qualify them, make sure that I feel like there's somebody that can help, and say, okay, you know what to do. Like I'm writing their instructions when I'm also writing, the request for their help, essentially.
Right. So being very clear.
What you do. So get really clear on what you need help with specifically, and then just put the word out. Go to the local colleges or schools. Put the word out for an intern. Possibly run an ad in a local paper. You can go to your social media presence. You can go to your email lists or your existing clients or customers, but just mine what your current assets. And the only, I guess, the warning that I would put out in addition to this, I see a lot of people like they're kind of scared to go to mine in their own assets because they think, who would want to do that? None of my friends would actually want to do that. None of the people that are following me, like, they wouldn't be interested. This is a trap. Like, this is something that it's not true. You never know until you ask. If you're very specific, there may very well be somebody sitting there waiting on you to say, look, like sitting there just waiting for something like that to come along. So don't let that stop you from doing it. If you're in a position where you need help, get the help you need as soon as possible, because the sooner you get that help and the sooner that you go through that process, the sooner you're going to have that piece of the puzzle in place, and it'll free up more time. You'll have other things that you can do, and who knows, maybe you'll need more help. Maybe that one person will be just fine. So the final version that we'll talk briefly about would be just to going sort of all the, what I would call like the usual channels, like Odesk, elance.com. I think the names have changed.
Well, I was just going to say Odesk and Elance have now merged, and they're both Upwork. So Upwork.com, and that's really just it's an online site where you want to go post a job and you're looking to hire. You're either going out there as posting to get hired, or to go out there to say, look, I have a job. And there's a lot of very, very specific online tasks where you would find many, many people that are suited to be able to do what you're asking them to do. And they will range in price from extremely cheap to extremely expensive, depending on, there's a lot of people in different countries. They work a lot cheaper, that you'll have communication issues. So it's a great place to go, especially if you have some specific things in mind. And maybe if it's just a project based, like, look, I just need all of these to be put into one thing, and I just don't have time for that. If it's just a simple project where you don't want to be bringing somebody on and you just want to have that done, that would be a great place to go to. But there was another one that you just mentioned, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's the one, the PH one.
Onlinejobs.ph. It's primarily Filipino workers.
Right.
And so Filipino workers, they have, like, their lifestyle is a lot different than the U.S. So they're what would be very, very cheap considered, like, in terms of like paying them. That to them is like, it's good salary. Like, they're happy to do that. And their English is usually pretty good. They're really close in terms of like being able to communicate. They're really good with their communication, and lots of them have the skills as well. So check those out. Depending on the country you hire from, that will depend on the price and the person obviously and their skill sets. But so those would be the three options. We'll do a quick recap. So go to your existing people, customers list, database, social media. You can reach out to schools, take the intern route, or you can go the route of going on the usual channels and just posting like a classified ad on these job sites and say, look, here's what I'm looking to do. And whenever you're writing those type of ads, I see a lot of people getting stuck on what do I actually say. My suggestion would be, look at other people's ads that are hiring first and just model what they're saying.
Definitely.
Just model what they're doing. That'll help you get clarity on the job description and things like that. But when you're really clear on what it is that you want to do, then that's pretty much what you're saying. And across any platform, here's the specific job. Here's what I'm looking for specifically. Here's the type of person I'm looking for specifically. Here's the skills you would need to have specifically. And if you're specific and you're clear on all of that stuff, then you'll have sort of a gauge to go by and know, okay, well, this person is qualified or not qualified. Yeah, it's a yes or no, and it just makes the interview / hiring / selecting process a lot easier on you. So anything else before we wrap this one up, Brenda? Yeah,
the only thing I'd like to wrap up, just to remind anyone listening, even if you don't have like this offline business coming on, we talk a lot about, outsourcing and being able to get the things done in your business a little bit faster. If there's stuff that's not paying you and you find yourself spending a lot of time on it, be able to really consider outsourcing that to somebody else so that you can really focus on building your business and not the tasks that take away and don't earn any money, but yet have to get done. So everything that we've really suggested here certainly can be applied to any entrepreneur working in a small business where you want to grow your business and need a little bit of extra help so you can grow and scale faster. So
absolutely. So Kristen, thank you so much for submitting the question. We appreciate it. Great question. Best of luck on your endeavors finding some help. Hopefully you found some value here. And again, if you have any other questions, just submit them to results513.com/ask, and we'll get them answered for you. So thanks again for asking, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so there you have it. Thanks for the great question, Kristen, and thank you so much for listening to the show. Remember, if you have a question that you would like us to answer on the show, submit it to results513.com/ask. And thank you again for tuning in today. We sincerely hope that you have enjoyed it. If you did, we would love it if you would share the show with someone else who you think will get value from it. And be sure and subscribe on iTunes by going to results513.com/iTunes, or if Stitcher's more your thing, you can subscribe there, results513.com/Stitcher. If you would like to get the full experience of today's episode, the notes, the links, the videos, everything, head on over to results513.com/110. Also, don't forget to run over to results513.com/show, download the free gift, the 15 must-have tools to be insanely productive in your business. You're going to love it, especially if you're a high performer. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode.